Close your eyes for a minute, close your eyes for a second. I won't change my mind.
Hi Posh fam, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining us. For my new, if you are new here, not for my latest, if you are new here, thank you. Welcome on board the Posh fam train. Go on in and look at my playlist, find what you like and feel comfortable. Welcome, share this channel with your friends and family. That is how we do here. We share the love. For my existing service continuously staying on, thank you. I do appreciate your show of support. As always, like, comment and share this channel so that we can grow. With that said, let's get into all that went down in episode 12 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Well, we are on the event circuit, guys. So it was Carl's event in episode 11, and now Dorit is planning a charity event for her charity that she got introduced to some time back. Homeless, not toothless. I have been practicing the name, guys, because this particular name has been a lip or a tongue twister, if I should use the word. Homeless, not toothless. Okay. Again, it's for a good cause, okay? The charity is supposed to take care of people that are homeless but not toothless. I don't know the dynamics, but again, we are looking forward to having a spectacular event. According to Dorit, they have been having a big event all through the COVID pandemic and everything that had happened. Lockdowns, restrictions, and all of that. They did do a small dinner for her friends, to donate, supporting the cause. And now she is literally trying to unveil this particular charity. And it looks like it's gonna be a big event because she is hosting it at the Beverly Hotel in Beverly Hills. So, but this is where we had the central main event amongst the girls, and all thanks in part to Sutton's esophagus. We are still on esophagus. This particular woman's esophagus is what is the theme this entire season. And if I were the esophagus, I will be clamming for my agent to roll in the numbers, because I need to get paid right here. Like, you guys cannot just be talking about my esophagus without rolling in the numbers or paying me for it. Like, we are 12 season in, and we only had 3 seasons where the esophagus was not an issue, and we are still on it. Anyway, we see Cal catching up with Sutton to unpack the night that was her own event, celebrating the life of her friend Lorraine, who unlived herself, a year prior. Now, in this particular meet, they had to discuss all that went down at the event, because, as you know, Carl was busy hosting the event, so she wasn't privy to all the shenanigans that went down as a result of esophagus. Okay, now Annamarie, I am not sure why she is on the show. Again, I would categorize her as another necker and say, bravo, please don't bring these women next year. They do nothing for the show. They try to come in hard. They don't have a storyline, and so they pick on someone they think is weak and go on the offensive or on the attack. And this is exactly what is happening here. I am not sure why Annamarie is neck deep, literally, down Sutton's esophagus. She is there sitting down, just having a cocktail, and I am not sure if she's going to choke or get drunk and high on her cocktail. Like, yes. Anyway, Sutton had to let Carl know, because again, Carl introduced this particular lady into the group, that Annamarie has been on and on and on, and it's not wanting to stop. Now, we had a charity event celebrating someone's life, and all you were focused on or fixated on was my esophagus. And so she's like, okay, she's planning a trip to Madrid, Spain, if I'm not mistaken. And she's now thinking of, disinviting Annamarie altogether. Sutton is saying, and Carl is saying, you invited everyone, just let everyone go. But then Sutton is like, I demand an apology from this woman. Otherwise, she is uninvited to my trip. Girl, Sutton, I support you all the way. We don't have someone dragging your esophagus all the way from America down to Europe. That will be literally a long stretch. We will thin it out. I know, right? I know. Anyway, she did address the fact that Mauricio wasn't present to support her, and Kyle gave her the excuse that Mauricio was away. He took a private jet somewhere to Mexico City and back, and well, he wasn't present, but he will be present for the Toothless, homeless, not toothless charity event, and I cannot wait to unpack the awkward car ride to this particular charity event. And here we see Christelle again debriefing with Garcelle as to what went down. Now we come to find out that we only saw maybe 20 minutes or 10 minutes, 5 minutes clip of this particular esophageal conversation. Apparently it went on for 4 hours. So Annamarie came to the event and literally was on a biopic, kind of rewrite a biopic on Sutton's esophagus. That it got the women to the point where they got irritated, and a lot of them walked out or walked away from Annamarie because she was exhausting. Now, we see Christelle digging this conversation with Garcelle. Garcelle, obviously, we know where she stood about it. And again, I think Garcelle's excuse is the fact that because this lady is in the medical field, but she should know better discussing someone's confidential health information. That's like 101 medical dynamics. You don't talk about people's medical condition when they don't give you when you don't have consent. Like, she should know that. I mean, 101. That is your confidential, private, personal matter. Like, you have got no right talking about it. You're not a physician. And even if you were, there are some things that are sacred, right? But guess what? Christelle actually let us in on the fact that when she met Annamarie, which is going to be a subject of conversation in the next episode, because Christelle and Annamarie went in. Annamarie came guns blazing for Christelle. But we're going to get to that next episode, okay? Anyway, we found out that Annamarie told Christelle, or if Christelle heard wrong, that she is in fact an anesthetist. So an anesthetist is different from an anesthetic nurse, okay? So meaning she is the one administering the propofol that puts the patient to sleep. But then we saw her introduce herself as an anesthetic nurse. So how come? Christelle, what did you hear? I don't know, but it appears Christelle is trying to find her voice. In the same breath, Christelle and her brother are trying to debrief following his visit to Asia to see his ex-girlfriend, I guess in part to get a closure or whatever. They need to get close. He needed closure from the breakup that seemingly stemmed from the pandemic. Pandemic did a lot of damage, guys. It did. It did a number of people's relationship, people's lives, everything. Anyway, he is happy now that he got closure, and he is now choosing to move away from America back to Asia, Hong Kong, or Japan, wherever he said he was going to settle, and just build his base from there. This is not sitting well with Christelle, but Christelle has got no choice. The brother has now got wings. Brother has got wings. Sorry, guys. Excuse my errors. The brother has got wings now and wants to fly solo, and he is letting the sister know, you ain't stopping me from this decision that I've made, and I am going to do it with or without your support. So your best, just support me, okay? And this is, I guess, in part, according to Christelle, she sort of grew side by side with her brother, and they have been as thick as thieves. And so that she doesn't know when not to meddle. And meddling has been the one thing that is now sort of causing rift in their relationship. And she's going to just listen to him because he's now matured enough to go on his merry way. Good on you, Christelle. That would be the right thing to do, right? Now we can see Dorit and PK well into the planning stages of this particular Homeless Not Toothless charity event. And yes, PK has got a mouth on his own, man. That man can talk for days. He is literally dictating what he wants and how things are not in place, what color, what theme, how the flowers are going to be arranged, where the cutleries and air. I'm like, PK, well, this is what Dorit wanted during the therapy session, you know, and PK is delivering in spades. I'll give it to this man. They are in fact, preparing, and it looks like this is going to be a good turnout and a good event for them. And now we can see Mauricio and Carl taking the ride to this particular event. Now, there's something I picked up. I noticed Carl has got Morgan Wade's Bogota Vanessa Pearl shoes in her closet, and I'm not sure why. Guys, I don't know the answer. Did she buy it for her, or what's going on here? I don't know, guys. Anyway, during the ride to this particular event, it seemed awkward because they were discussing the fact that Mauricio just got back from wherever he went to, and Mauricio doesn't even know that they're going, what the event is about that they're going for, but he's ready and they're going. And I think this is where Carl, a little bit offended or irritated, decided to come in and say, "Oh, I'm traveling on this day, and I'm also traveling when I get back," catching Mauricio unawares. And he's like, you could just see that these people are no longer communicating, and they are now forcing it for the cameras. That's just what it looks like. They got to the event alongside Annamarie and her partner. They were, walked the red carpet, took photos. It just felt a little bit awkward. Mauricio was trying to create a banter or distract Annamarie and her partner whilst they were on the red carpet taking photos. Carl didn't like this and was trying to, correct him. Mauricio was just not having it. It was just weird. And I feel for the two of them. They look good together. I wish they can get past this hump. I feel like it's a hump, and they just need someone, an external person, to come and mediate and let them fix. Or, you know what, take a temporary break, which is normal for couples, right? Take a 1 year, 2 year break, get it off your system, burn some steam, do whatever. And if you feel like you want the relationship back, then two of you can then come back and work on it. I mean, Jada Pinkett and Will Smith did it for 7 years, and eventually they are back together. I really don't know, but what can I say? I have got no leg to stand on when it comes to relationship and relationship advice. I ain't got one. Okay, guys, the event was a success. They were successful bid. They were able to raise money for Homeless Not Toothless. Okay. However, the main event was the women having a go at each other, specifically Annamarie and Crystal, as well as Sutton. What about Esophagus? Okay, well, the women got there. We see Erica, who's, by the way, recovered from Corona, Garcelle, Sutton, and Crystal having a conversation centered around this particular Annamarie, should I say, lack of discretion at the Celebration of Life event. And just as they were talking about it, Annamarie walked through and they summoned her. She came in with her husband. They exchanged a few pleasantries. Not quick enough, the man went away. I might add, I think Annamarie is quite rude. She was a bit standoffish and rude to her partner. But again, that's something I'll point out. That's something that I saw. And I'm like, okay, this is not okay. But let's get to the main event. And Sutton went straight. Stop talking about my esophagus. You don't know me that well. You're not my doctor. I've got a board certified doctor that's a GI who knows a lot more about you. And she says, I'm a board certified nurse and I know that you've lied 3 times. And Erica was like, what were the first 2 lies? And talked about some drug that you could mix with alcohol. To which Sutton said, well, my doctor said it was okay to do. And I am doing just that. You're not my doctor again. And then she was like, oh, the second lie. I think Crystal called her out on the fact that you said this at the Celebration of Life event, which we all saw. She said she quickly, took a step back and changed her words and went back on what she said, or trying to deny. But Crystal was like, girl, you said it. We had this conversation. You were talking. You were so fixated for 2 hours that you became annoying, and we left you talking about someone else's internal organs. I think it got to a yelling match. Annamarie forgot she was in a ballroom, getting ready to go into a charitable event, and in fact, they caused quite a stir because onlookers were perplexed as to how this well-dressed, expensive-looking woman could be so ghetto. I said it. It was a ghetto-like behavior, okay? At some point, Annamarie was like, you didn't go to medical school. Was talking to Crystal, that Crystal didn't go to medical school. Apparently, Crystal had a conversation with her about wanting to, or the aspiration by her Asian parents for her to become a doctor, to which something happened. Something had to give. She wanted a family, and so raising a family and having a family trumped the idea or the decision of going to medical school. And Annamarie feels Crystal is jealous of her. Okay. I was like, this lady is. And I think Crystal did use the bitch word at her. And quite frankly, everyone was stunned that even Crystal can talk like that. I was stunned because it's very unusual for Crystal to be this defend herself and be this outspoken. I guess she's trying to let them know that I'm not a pushover. You can push me for as much as you like, but when I rear my ugly head up, it's up and it's on. Well, I can tell you this matter didn't really end in the best of light, but they had to break it out because Dorit went back to the city chat and said, swap these two women. I do not want them sitting close to each other because this event has got to be a success. Okay? And they did just that, leading them into the main event, or the hall of the main event, and they were able to hang all their differences aside. Until, I guess, the Spain trip, because that is where it's going to kick off again. Now, after the event, we could see Cal having a word with Annamarie, letting her know that she needed to apologize. Apparently, Annamarie woke up with a hangover and realized, oops, I did it again, and I might have messed up somewhere. She called Sutton trying to apologize, but the apology was very lukewarm. It wasn't an apology. She was trying to be defensive and apologizing at the same time, and I'm like, girl, that's not how to do it. Apologize because you have had a shitty go at her esophagus, and that's a wrong thing to do. Being a medical professional, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't even judge. You might know a lot, but you should just sometimes zip it, and this is where it's sort of ended for this women. I would say there is going to be more talk about the esophagus, and I hope it concludes the esophagus. Otherwise, I don't know how much I'm going to be talking about this. At this point, my esophagus is already tired of just having to talk about someone else's esophagus on TV. And that's it, guys. I guess there wasn't much talking point. The only drama, as I have just shared, was between Annamarie, Crystal, and Sutton. And this one event is going to ricochet all the way through to Spain because they are preparing to, head over there. We will come on here and recap on episode 13 and see how that unfolds. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you've watched up until this point, I, as always, appreciate you. I will be here same time next episode. In the meantime, stay safe and be focused. Thank you. Bye.
Say what you want to say to me now.